Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. The government's taken a rare swing at the banking sector, demanding immediate and concerted action to better protect customers from scams. The Commerce Minister has sent them a letter ordering urgent changes to combat the scam industry that's taken more than $200 million from Kiwis in 2023 alone. Perry Wilton reports.
Deepak Udani's life has been turned upside down.
What happened to us, it has changed our whole life.
He lost $100,000 when scammers convinced him to invest in fake bonds. It's left his retirement in tatters.
We are not young. We are almost 60 now. People retire, at this stage, and we are struggling. I can't take a day off because I've got my overheads, I've got my bills to pay.
And he's not the only one.
We've found that 1 in 10 people have lost money to scamming in the last year or so. That is huge.
The new Commerce and Consumer Affairs Minister, Andrew Bailey, has had enough, issuing this letter to banks this week to demand a better system to protect Kiwis from scams. And he told them he wants results by September.
That's why I've asked the banks. I want them to look at what's happening around the world, come back and make sure it's fit for purpose for New Zealand, but I am expecting further work in this area.
One of the letter's demands is to establish a confirmation of payee system. Available internationally, when paying online, this refers to checking that the name you type as the bank account name matches the account number.
Most people, quite reasonably, I think, assume that means something, that the bank's actually checking that the account number matches the name on that account, but they actually don't do that.
That account is linked to Argus International Limited, which is the mule's account.
And you're saying that really if the bank had been able to do a secondary check on that, then it would have bounced.
The New Zealand Banking Association says customers can expect a fix by the end of the year, allowing months of time to pass, while scammers could still be taking advantage of this New Zealand loophole. And while the government is calling for a voluntary reimbursement scheme for victims, that term, voluntary, has failed to impress.
He's talking about voluntary reimbursement. It should be made mandatory ASAP.
We're calling for it at Consumer NZ. The Banking Ombudsman's calling for it. The Select Committee's calling for it. We think the Minister should get in behind this, read the room, and force the banks to do this.
I feel if they had better systems in place, Perry, if they have checks and balances, none of us would be victims of this complex scam.
And with victims scrambling to pick up the pieces,
losing your life saving and going through what we are, Perry, I wouldn't wish this even for my worst enemy. And that's the pain and suffering we live with.
They say change and reimbursement can't come soon enough. Perry Wilton, Newshub.